Hey guys, I'm Ash with Diving Sports. I am the speedfishing and freediving specialist at Diving Sports. Today we want to talk about the perfect equipment for a beginner freediver. As a local business in Vancouver, we mainly focus on cold water diving. Cold water diving is different from warm water diving in terms of what we need as an equipment. Will help you to improve your breath hold, your comfort in the water, your efficiency, and also to be safe when you are diving with the right equipment. So if we take, for example, diving here in Vancouver as White Cliff Park, as one of the best diving sites here in the Lower Mainland, the water temperature at depth can go anywhere from 3 degrees to 8 degrees at depth. It gets even colder in lakes where it's about 2 degrees at depth in winter time. So the right equipment for the right temperature that we have here, it's very important. Freediving in cold water significantly impacts your breath hold and your comfort. In warm water, you don't even need a rush guard sometimes to go freediving, which is here, having the right equipment is a must. For your freediving equipment for cold water, you would need wetsuit, mask, snorkel, fins, gloves, socks, belts, and also weights for the buoyancy, as thick wetsuit require some weights to be able to go down. And also we need safety equipment as dive computer, buoys, and knives. Using the right mask while you are freediving is super important. First of all, you want to have the right volume of the mask. You want to use a low volume mask when you are freediving. All what that means, it's the air space inside the mask. If you are going with a large scuba diving mask, but they tend to be bigger, you're gonna have trouble equalizing down, and also you are using a lot of air to equalize your mask while you are going down. You will also need to focus on the fit. That's why it's very important to go to your local dive shops. If you are in Vancouver, come see at us at Diving Sports. We do have 100 of masks on the wall. All of that is to make sure that you find the right fit. The easy way to try on a mask is by putting on the mask without the straps. You want to aim the bottom of the nose pocket straight under your nose. You want to put it on. You want a little bit pushed against your face and inhale into it. And you should have a certain suction. So the mask is holding it by face without even using the strap. The strap is not made to make the seal. It's made to hold just the mask in place. If you are cranking down the straps, you are collapsing the skirt on the side, which makes the mask leaks. Also, when you're trying on the mask, you want to make sure that when you put the mask on and you push the forehead here, you don't want it to be hurting around this area, because when you are going down with the pressure, the mask is collapsing, squeezing on your face, and you don't want it to be hurting in this area here. Using a soft skirt in silicone helps a lot for the seal around your face shape. If you are using a stiff skirt in cold water, that skirt will become even stiffer and you will not be able to follow all your face shape around to seal around and avoiding any water from coming in. Using the right freediving snorkel is very important. The freediving snorkels, they are mainly known as the J snorkel. You don't want to be using a snorkeling snorkel or a scuba diving snorkel that have a perch in the bottom, a dry top, or flexible. First of all, they're going to be heavier, so they are creating a lot of drag while you are going down. Another important to know about the snorkels is where to put it on the mask. Do you want to put it on the sides or on the back strap? Personally, I love putting on the back strap. What that allows to is I have a higher point of the snorkel out of the water and it is protected from the swell. If I put it here on the side, it's gonna be on a lower setup, and also it's gonna be putting pressure on my ear, which is I want my ear to be free to help during my equalization. Now, the third piece of equipment that is very important diving in cold water is freediving wetsuits. Freediving wetsuits comes in two pieces. We do have here the jacket and a high waist pant. It also comes in a long john pant, which goes around the shoulders. What is very specific about freediving wetsuits, it is they have the jacket, have the hood integrated, and they don't have a zip in the back as snorkeling or scuba diving wetsuits. Having a zip in the back allows more of water inside the wetsuits, and also having a separate hood from the wetsuits allows more air to go in around the neck area. Also, another features about freediving suits, they are made on the inside out of open cell. Open cell, what it all means, it is just raw rubber versus closed cell for scuba diving wetsuits and snorkeling wetsuits. Closed cell, it is just adding a type of fabric, it could be nylon or jersey, on top of the open cell, on top of the raw rubber, and that's what we call at the end closed cell. Closed cell decrease the stretch of the neoprene. Having it open cell, raw rubber, allows more stretch in the wetsuit and also more warmth. Don't forget, if you are wearing an open cell wetsuit, you need to use a type of lubricant to be able to put the suits on, because they are very sticky and they're not gonna be able to glide through your skin. So you are either using a conditioner that is good for your skin and the environment, or also other option could be baby shampoo, or we do sell here at Diving Sports the Slippy, which is a powder that you mix in the water. Another features about spearfishing wetsuits, it's they do have a chest pad on the chest. All what that helps is to be able to load the bands of your spear guns without having bruises on your chest area. A fourth piece of equipment that you also need to free dive in cold water, it is fins. Freediving fins come in 3 different materials. You're gonna have plastic, fiberglass, and carbon. Plastic fins, they do have a memory. So if you bend a fin and you store it banded, the next day when you take it out, it's gonna keep that banded shape, which is fiberglass and carbon. If you flex the blade, if you bend the blade, it will just snap back by itself. So they have more power, they are lighter comparative to the plastic. But for beginners, starting with plastic fins, it's a good idea. If you are a beginner and you are going directly to fiberglass or carbon, those blades are more fragile than the plastic. Selecting the stiffness of the blades is very important, and the stiffness depends on your body weight and your ankle power. If you are a light body weight, you will need to go with a softer model, because if you go with a stiffer fin, it's gonna be very hard to kick and you're gonna bend your knee, which is, we know when you are kicking in free diving, you want your leg to stay almost straight and the whole movement is coming from your ankle. So going with a stiffer blade will hurt your ankle and you will tend to bend your knee. If you are a heavy body weight and you go with a softer blades, it's not going to be able to push you through the current, or if you are coming up from the depth. For the foot pockets, you want a foot pocket that fit your foot properly. You want it to be snug, you don't want it to be loose. If the foot pocket is loose, you're gonna unfortunately lose your fin while you are kicking, because when you are going down, the neoprene socks compress and leave more space around the foot pocket. That's why when you purchase them, you want to make sure that they have a snug fit, but not restrictive either, because if the foot pocket is too restrictive around your foot, it's gonna cut your blood circulation, which is really bad and will make your foot colder quicker. Other part of equipment which belongs to the thermal protection is the neoprene socks. Here in Vancouver, we mainly use all the season 5mm socks. You can also use 7mm socks if you get very quickly cold. The reason why I prefer 5mm socks, like this, they are less bulkier inside the foot pockets. Now for those 5mm socks or 7mm socks, you can have them either in open cell on the inside, which is going to be more stretchy, more warm. We discussed that already for the wetsuits, or you can get them fabric on the inside. The problem is if you get a 7mm that is fabric on the inside, you're gonna have a hard time putting them on because all the material need to go through your ankle. As for the socks, the same thing goes for the neoprene gloves. Neoprene gloves also comes in 5mm or 7mm. For the 7mm, usually they are not 5 fingers gloves, they are more like mitts gloves, which is some people like. But what I find that you lose dexterity when you are using those lobster gloves, and especially when you are spearfishing and having a spear gun handle on your hand. So I do prefer the 5 fingers. For 5mm, they do come in open cell and also closed cell. Another equipment that also you need is freediving belts. Freediving belts is where you're gonna put your weights on. It allows you to counterbalance the buoyancy of a thick 7mm wetsuit that we use here in cold water in British Columbia. They exist few buckles regarding the freediving belts. You have, this is the Marseillaise style, you have the metal buckle style, or you have the plastic buckle style. The best one that I recommend for freediving is the Marseillaise style. All of it, it's related to the pin. So when you release the belt in case of emergency, the pin sits at 90 degrees, so the holes on the belt doesn't get caught on when you release the belt. So that's why I like this one, which is the buckle. Sometimes when you open the buckle to free yourself from the belt in case of emergency, the belt, like when it reaches a 90-degree angle, it's gonna like stick there, and you need kind of like to still like pull on it to release yourself. That's why I like, again, the Marseillaise buckle, because the pin sits at 90 degrees and free you completely. Now, concerning the safety or optional equipment, the most important one, in my opinion, it's having a knife. The knife will free you from any type of situation when you're gonna get caught around like nets, if some fishermen's left them there, like fishing lines, all of that. You need a knife to free yourself. Where is the best place to put your knife? You can put it on the belt. If you're putting it on the belt, you want to be able to access it with both hands, or on the leg. Some people will put it on the outside of the leg. I do prefer more putting it on the inside, especially when you are diving here in BC in cold water, as if you are having it on the outside, it can get caught around the kelps. Another piece of equipment that you will need to use while you are freediving in cold water, it's a freediving buoys. The freediving buoys allows you to keep the boats out of your spot about 100 meters. And for that, you also need to put the flag on the buoy. Now, freediving buoys comes in inflatable as this one. It's very easy to fold and store in your freediving bag. Or also we have the hard buoys. The hard buoys tend to be a little bit more durable comparative to the inflatable ones. Another important but optional piece of equipment is the freediving watch. A freediving watch helps you mainly for safety. It will keep on track of your dives and also mention your surface time. You know your surface time needs to be double your dive. Otherwise, you are risking build of CO2 and shallow blackouts. Other equipment that you don't really need as a beginner will be, like, let's say carbon or fiberglass blades. You can just go away with the plastic to start with. Also, you don't need nose clips for dry training. You don't need a light. All of that, it's more like extra equipment that you will have to think about when you are like getting ready for your dive, and you need to manage all the equipment when you are in the water. I would prefer for beginners just to focus on the main equipment to get to be a good free divers, and then they can add on more gears. Free diving in British Columbia is amazing, but to do that, because of our cold water, you need the right equipment, especially the thermal protection. Come see us at Diving Sports. We do have the gears, we do have the trips, the courses, and the most important is the advice. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked the video, subscribe and like, and see you in the next video.